to upload it. All knows. All
Literally
knows.
anything required.
Yeah. Well, that's
It's
the
like,
thing
oh, buy it.
nowadays. Just everybody, everybody's got a podcast now, man. It's funny. Like when we were doing it, like we went out, we got the board. It was all this kind of stuff, and it was weird. It was like when we first started, everybody's sound was terrible, and then like we were like, okay, we can't sound like shit, so we bought a fucking Behringer board, all this kind of shit, did all that stuff, and then like we got a lot of listeners because it was good quality.
Yeah.
Well, now everybody's got a podcast. 90% of them fucking sound like they're coming out of someone's rectum or a tin can.
Oh, fucker.
I'm like, thanks. I did all that work for nothing, you bastards.
Nope, that's not any better.
Jesus, it's like we're staring into the sun's butthole.
I'm trying to find it.
I'm in the settings. I can't see it. I'm in settings right now. So I can't see shit.
He's coming live from Saddam's fucking bunker. 10 years ago when I first started podcasting and we got all the cool shit, still all the same shit. It's just junk now.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. I think the camera's like maybe 720. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just using my laptop camera.
That's right.
This is just a piece of shit.
All good.
Snap's like 20 years old. This is the old Juggernaut laptop we used when the Juggernaut was around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like we used to play all the drums and beats off this machine right here.
Oh,
beat the beats. So what's Roundhouse doing? Is he coming or fuck it?
He's probably gonna be a while because Jackson takes forever to go to bed.
True patriot love.
Touch my wiener.
All our sons go. Welcome to the Horror in the Pit, the most patriotic Canadian podcast this side of Trump's wall. Alright, fuck it.
Let's do it.
And welcome to Horror in the Pit. I don't know why I went with that. I'm your host, Fear, and this week I got the Gazinga Boys back. We are waiting on D-Rock, who is roundhousing a turd or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. There's something going on.
No one knows.
But yeah, what up, boys?
Hey.
I don't know. Ready to do this.
Hell yeah, man. I'm just trying to think. There was something we were going to talk about. What the hell were we going to talk about?
SpinCore stuff.
Oh, yeah. We can go into that silliness. Fuck it. That bitch, it'll be 24 years old in October.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're right. Wow.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
Is that you recording? It's October?
Yep.
Oh,
I found like one of my old books where I kept like the tallies of everything and when we were fucking paying for everything, and I was like, oh yeah, it was like October 16th or 20th or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah,
man, it was a fun experience though, going to the studio.
It was neat, man. It's something like a lot of people can't say that shit, you know, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
But like,
so where was it? Like, where did it all happen?
It was at Frank's.
Yeah.
Oh,
which downtown Chatham, right?
Yeah, it's.
Oh yeah.
Frank's isn't in the same spot. It's still downtown, but it's in a different location now.
Oh, that's still there too. Holy shit.
Yeah, but yeah, it was. It was in the basement or just the back of the building. I don't remember which now.
I think it was the back of the building.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's right.
Yeah. The man. How old were we in 2000?
I just turned 17.
Yeah, so I mean,
we would have been 7. We all would have been 17.
17, going into the back of a shady music studio.
Old man's back here
with Steve running everything with his sweet scullet.
That's what it was. Yep.
Fucking, it was cool, man. It was pretty awesome. Like, with a lot of
What
those
was it?
tracks. Like, well, okay, so I'll throw it out here. I'll link to the album. So this is a new metal album that we did when we were 17. And yeah, it was pretty cool, man. We had been playing most of those songs, I think, for I don't know, a year or two or something like that. So
Yeah, that's about right.
so like we had them down or whatever. So I guess the next thing was let's go into the studio, man, make this a thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, it was crazy. Like we had no idea anything about it. Like we could play the instruments, but when it came to recording or whatever, like other than hitting pause and record or whatever the fuck on a tape deck, there wasn't a lot of options back then.
Oh God, no.
But it was kind of neat. He had us like record a ghost track, so like all together, and then he took each of us in and essentially you played to the rest, and then he ended with us doing the vocals.
Yeah. Okay.
On
Yeah,
like, the final thing.
I think what for the ghost track was meant for Bill's drums, and then if I remember right, and then we used the drums to go off of it for everything else.
Pretty much, yeah. Like yeah. So essentially, there was a ghost track where we played everything together, and so then okay, here's something I don't recommend. If you're in our like position where we were just like a bunch of kids trying to do shit, we changed the songs in the studio on the ghost track. Like we just went with shit.
Like you made the call to change it, or he did?
No, we did. We were like, like at one point there was like, fuck, I can't. One of the tracks, like we were kind of sitting there, and CJ's just like, keep going, and so I'm like, start doing some breathing, and then we go into something else. I can't remember which song it was. It was like God or something, but like, just on the fly, we're like, let's do it, and then we had to try to fucking remember we did that each time.
We did, yeah.
So every time we like Billy starts the drums and then he thinks he's done. Oh, we went back into it. Oh shit. So he's got to go back into it. Literally every time any of us did it, we would be like, oh yeah. And you'd think we'd learn. We didn't learn. By the time it came to us, we were still like, we better get into it. But, yeah,
no, that's exactly
it was some funny ass shit. And it was funny because like Bill's drum style is like organized chaos. Like a lot of times he didn't play the fills the same every time, and so when you're trying to record that made things a little bit more difficult. When he would hear it and you could tell like he'd play something else as he heard it, and then he'd be like we'd have to go back, and he'd be like, Steve, play it again, I don't remember what I played. But yeah, fuck dude, it was fun as shit though.
Do you like listening to it now? Do you have a favorite song or favorite two songs or whatever that you personally like yourself above the rest?
I don't know. It's so like it's tough because I know what the fans liked, you know? And so like Dark Art is kind of like one of those ones that I'm just like, that's a jam, you know?
Yeah.
But like out of the songs that we had written, like my favorites, I really liked Amnesia. That was almost one of the first songs we kind of ever played, and it just that kind of took on its own life for me inside of the band, where it's like originally I played guitar on it, and then we changed that up and a bunch of stuff. And I used to have videos. I don't even know what I have anymore, but I had a video back in the day where like, yeah, I played guitar on it, and then it was just a bunch of weird shit. But that one and like Backtalk was weird because it wasn't supposed to be on the album. Like it was something we had just kind of started fucking with. And then there's another thing that we got into the studio, and CJ's like, no, we got one more. And I'm like, we got one more. And he's like, yeah, we're going to do Backtalk. I'm like, we're not going to do that fucking thing. Like, we don't even know anything about it. You're playing fucking made up hillbilly chords.
Yeah, what is that?
So I don't. So there was a bunch of dudes like back in our area. So like CJ, Donnie Tua, a couple other guys, and they all kind of played blues and different things. And they played these half chords, which they called hillbilly chords. I don't know. They just played these certain chords, and that's kind of what they did. They always just called them hillbilly chords. So then when we went in, we had to explain to Steve what the fuck a hillbilly chord was. and that's when like Steve was like, okay, well, if you tweak this a little bit, it's a real chord, and you do this. And then so we got through that, and then that's when we realized Derek had no idea what he was playing on bass. And so literally Steve had to rewrite the bass line in the fucking studio because
if you listen to the song, you can tell too.
Yeah. So yeah, man, it was super interesting. But yeah, those are kind of like my two faves. Like, did you have a couple of faves that?
I mean, I was with the fans. I love Dark Art and Bleed.
Yeah, those are both solid. I mean, that's what it's hard because I love the whole album, right? But
right,
yeah,
and like it's funny. You listen to it again now, and it's like, fuck, man, we were 17 and like 24 years ago when we recorded this, and I still enjoy listening to it now.
Yeah, man,
like
for sure,
like legit, I do.
Yeah, I'm like, not to be that guy, but I'll hear new shit and I'm like, SpinCore is better than this. Like, what the fuck?
And like,
yeah.
Rob, you said that you've been like listening to it a little bit lately, eh?
Yeah.
You got some faves?
Is there something that you are
basically Dark Art
just
for sure?
Yeah. Those are just fun, like energy crowd songs, right? Like
yeah, they were just like Dark Art was balls to the walls. Like that just came out and it was just like just fucking gritty, you know, like dun 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 dun.
It's a fun song.
Yeah, man.
I still wish that we got around to recording that nursery rhyme one that we never had a proper like setup for it.
No.
It was one of these things where every time we would jam, it would be different.
Yeah.
But
yeah, man, it was that was like a song that we became a jam band for some reason. It was always different. The lyrics were always kind of the same, but it was a different vibe every time. Yeah, and there was a few there was at least one or two songs that we were working on prior to going into the studio that I wish we would have got onto it, you know, like
me too.
They were like super fresh and we didn't really know what we were doing with them. And like, I don't know, I would have liked to, because we were getting more aggressive, and I think that
I went on.
like we had our influences had like really not changed, but like grown exponentially in different areas.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
And like, so there was a lot of different kind of aspects that we were just getting into that would have been pretty interesting to hear. Cause I mean, at that time, really, I'm trying to think of what was big, like Korn and Limp Bizkit and Deftones.
Slipknot came out in '99.
So yeah, we were probably getting into that pretty heavy and Mudvayne. I don't know when LD50 came out, but it was around the same time, I think.
Yeah. So
yeah, that sounds.
Yeah, man, like it was awesome. It was such a great fucking time for music because metal and rock and all that shit was mainstream. Like we were riding off of all the work that the grunge boys had done to like put it in. You could fucking hear it on radio, and it was just such a good time. And now it's all fucking pop music and dumb shit. But
radio's garbage.
LD50 was August of 2000.
Oh, okay. Then that would we wouldn't have been quite into that probably yet.
Yeah.
Well, like Coal Chamber.
Oh fuck, man! I still love Coal Chamber's first album.
Oh god, it's so good.
They're all pretty good, like, but obviously the first one is the best one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mind the third one a lot too. That's second for me.
Which is third? Is that
Dark
Dark Days or
Days?
whatever?
Yeah, Dark. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dark Days.
Okay.
Yeah, Dark Days was good. I didn't like the second one.
There's parts of it I don't like. I didn't like the Ozzy song. I don't like the cover. It
I
was
was
too
gonna
heavy
say
for
that's the
me.
one with Ozzy, right? Like
And
Shock the
I
Shock
Monkey.
the
yeah,
monkey to
I
life.
brushed it off for the longest time, but then eventually it still had good stuff on there as well. Like Bradley. Wait, Bradley on that
Yeah.
one?
No.
Oh,
Bradley's
sorry,
on.
Tyler song. Tyler song.
Yeah, Tyler song. Yeah.
Oh, Tyler's
And
one.
that one is
He's got
pretty
some
good.
good ones on too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it just
Fun.
wasn't what I was expecting for the second
A little
album.
different vibe.
Because they
Yeah.
totally changed up their vibe. And like at the time, I just wasn't into that. And like now, I'm like, oh, you go back, you're like, okay, I get it now. But at the time, you're just like, play fucking Loco. What are you doing? Where's Big Truck? What the fuck?
Hey, when I saw Demo Driver, they played Loco and they played Big Truck.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think
When,
they did when we saw them.
Last show was that before COVID with Static X, Dope,
Oh, I
Pepper,
wanted to. I was supposed to go to that show, but I never.
somebody else. It was a good show. It was loud as absolute hell in there.
Nice.
My tinnitus
I
has got a
remember you
lot worse.
saying that. I remember
Holy
you
hell.
saying that. Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, it was cool to hear that. Plus, it was on different tuned guitars, same low note because they were using drop B, I'm assuming. But like it was just, what's the guy's name from Cold Chamber? The way he tuned his guitar was like a standard 7-string without the high string, something like that. Anyways,
Was it Meigs?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, look
That's
at
the
this
other
stuff
thing,
I
man.
can remember, but you fucking ask me other shit, man. I'm in trouble.
well, it's funny because like back then, I could tell you the name of every member of every band that I liked and like everything.
Yeah.
Now I don't know half the names of anybody in any of the bands I listen to, other than maybe the singer.
Yeah.
Like new bands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even going
'cause,
back.
everything's different now. Like you
Well,
don't
yeah,
really
and
know.
like I don't know, man. I used to read like Circus and Hit Parader and like all that
Yeah,
shit.
back
So
with the-
I was all up to
Aviator.
date. And it's funny because now we have the internet, we can hear everything, and I'm like, nah. Yeah. Nah,
I'm here
that's
to know
cool.
their names anymore.
Yeah, that's cool. Just
If it comes up
play.
on this feed on Instagram, that's the only way you know about news.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So
I still read the magazines, but like I read like Decibel and
yeah.
Metal Hammer and shit. No Revolver.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Oh, Revolver. Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think Hit Parader and Circus and all that shit's still around.
I don't think so either.
It was funny the other
They've gone
day
for a
we were
while.
talking about we were talking about something about to do with posters on a wall, and like I can't remember. We got into it with me and the kid, and I was like, look, it doesn't matter what you put on your wall, it's cool. I was like, I had a bunch of half naked dudes on my wall. Like I had the most homoerotic fucking walling, and I didn't realize it until just now as I'm telling you. Like I was like, Jesus Christ. If you didn't know me, you just walk in, you'd be like, yeah, you could be gay. I don't know. Like, here's John Davis wearing barely anything. Oh, fucking LeJean's got fucking nothing on. Jesus.
Oh, LeJean. There. So now.
Is he a nice shit brown color on yours too?
Yeah.
Roundhouse.
Yeah. Wow, he's the roundhouse color. That's perfect. So D-Rock, as a former member of SpinCore for about 72 hours.
He was the songwriter, right? He wrote
Yeah,
the song.
he wrote all the songs, and then we Dave Mustained him. We just we sent him on his way.
Why do I not remember him being in it?
It was before your time, dude. He was
Was
there
it?
before
Okay.
you were.
Oh,
Chris was an original
Oh,
member.
I was in and out so quick.
He was in and out so quick. I guess technically it wasn't probably SpinCore at the time. It was probably
No.
like Stealth Water or whatever, one of those weird ass fucking one of our first.
we were year zero before we were SpinCore
Yeah.
when I was.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even think I was that.
No, because we. So I don't know how we became a band. There, I'm gonna say that because like it was weird. It was like all of a sudden, just one day, Bill was like, "We should be in a band," and the rest of us were like, Yeah, we should. Like, we didn't have instruments. We didn't have fucking anything.
You should just do something.
Yeah, and like,
all I remember was you guys had a bass player, and then he quit or you kicked him out, and then I just asked. I think I asked CJ, and he was like, "Yeah, we can go ask Sean. It don't matter."
Yeah. Well,
Sean's the boss.
we've already talked about CJ and his willingness to just like, go ahead, do this. but yeah, so Bill started hanging out with Mitch. I'm not gonna say last names because I don't know if anybody cares, but and so Mitch could play guitar and had a drum set.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go see if I can find my headphones for my phone.
Sounds good. Let's look at his chair. Fuck's sakes.
What is this, amateur hour?
It is. Welcome to Amateur Hour. But yeah, so anyway, so then he would jam there, and then when Bill came home, he built his own drum kit. He had a wicker like ottoman sort of thing that he then drilled a couple of old broom handles on, and so then he was able to buy a cymbal from Mitch, so he had a cymbal on a broom handle, and then he had two big ice cream container tubs screwed on, and that's how this fucking guy learned to play drums. And
the dude's fucking good. Like,
it was so crazy. And yeah, so he played on that for, I don't know, a few weeks. And then he was like, guys, like, we really should be a band. And I'm like, okay, we keep saying okay, but like, what do we do next? How do we become a band? We need instruments. How do we decide who's going to learn to play what? Like it wasn't like we had any aspirations to do anything. We just like, sure,
right.
Let's start a band. And then we had a couple of buddies who had acoustic guitars. So they brought them over. And they're like, I don't know, but there's still a video I hear somewhere of our very first song performance music video thing. We didn't even have a name as far as I know. And the band was ridiculous. It was like our good friend Candace on vocals. And she's from Detroit. I think it was like John, me, maybe CJ were all on guitar. We didn't have a bass player. Yeah, Mitch was on an electric guitar, and then I think there was like 3 acoustic guitars, and the song was called Generic, and it was as bad as you would hope it would be.
Can you guys hear me better now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Found the proper headphones.
Oh, you good? Now we're looking at your balls. Great.
What are you talking about?
Jesus Murphy.
Yeah, like I remember when I came in, I was gonna be the DJ. Like there was that little tiny like Casio keyboard
Jesus, yeah.
that I was gonna play on.
Scratching. Can't see it.
And then then somehow I don't even remember how or why, but then we split into I split into vocals with you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It was like, that's what I mean. It was the silliest band to ever be because we didn't know anything. And then like, so CJ was like, I'm gonna play guitar. He went and got a guitar. I went and got a guitar. And then then we jammed. I think we jammed once or whatever, and he was walking home, and a guy down the street was like, hey, I heard you guys playing, like, do you need a bass? And he's like, yeah. And so this dude just gave him a bass guitar. And like, so then we were like, okay, all right, one of us is going to play bass. Like, this is going to be good. And
That wasn't me yet.
No. So then we had another buddy from London. His name was Natter.
Oh,
he
nice.
played bass for us, and we played Buffalo Days in Ridgetown, and we were
Really?
god awful. Yeah, man.
I don't remember that.
I think I have. I gotta find all these goddamn videos.
Wait a minute. Wasn't that Buffalo Day? Was that the concert that CJ wore a dress in?
No. Yes, but no.
Okay.
Not the first one.
Not that particular one?
No, the next time we played Buffalo Days, it was like that. But it was weird. So the first gig we played, we had 2 songs, terrible songs. And we had to go and audition for it. And the guy that was whose house we had to go to, which is like crazy to say now, like a bunch of us went to some old dude's house. And it was the drummer from Helix. And yeah,
really.
And so we get in there and we're playing this stupid fucking track that, and like, for whatever reason, he's like, okay. And we're like, no, okay. And so he was like trying to teach Bill how to play drums properly. He's like, if you hit the bass drum, when you hit the cymbal, it really punches it out. And Bill's like, okay. Like, just like a complete ass to this dude. He's like, I know. And we're just like, then why didn't you do it? Like, what? But yeah, man. So we played that, and that was a thing, and it was fun and super weird. And like somewhere I've got the video of it, and I'm like baby faced and like just like red from embarrassment, but I'm just still trying to give it, and it's the most awkward. And then
like, what kind of music was it? Like, what
it
was
was
the vibe of the
like
music?
it was rockish, like it was
Like
just
Nirvana?
but okay, maybe, yeah, it was like a slightly harder Nirvana, I guess. I don't know. It was like we were shouting more than screaming. and yeah, it was just but it was so bad, like we couldn't bridge anything. We would play, and then we'd have to stop, and then we'd have to play the chorus, and then we'd have to, and that's how it was at the time. And it was fun, and we did that thing, and then there was a lot of shuffling of bass players. Like I said, D-Rock came in. I played bass for a bit. And then there's a bunch. You probably played bass. We had a brief.
I probably played bass.
You probably played bass for a brief time. I think Les Claypool tried out, and we denied him. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it just none of us wanted to play bass, and it wasn't until like we met Derek, and he was like, "Yeah, okay, yeah," like and he just fell in line, man. And then I don't know how all the rest of the shifting happened. Yeah, by the time we went in to record, we had 2 singers and only 1 guitarist, 1 bassist, and like it's so strange, but it was pretty fun for being 17 and doing that shit.
Oh yeah, and those like the shows that we play at St. Mary's, like those were a blast. They were so much fun.
It was, man. And like, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
We're 16, 17 years old, and let's face it, we were the ones setting up our own shows, controlling everything ourselves. Basically, all it was what was his name? Was it Father John or something like that?
Yeah.
Brother John, yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah, our brother John. He was just like, because we had to go through him to technically be allowed to rent the hall out. But then it was basically like, he's just like, yeah, do your thing. And then we just literally controlled everything ourselves.
Yeah, man. Like, to think about it, like, we did a lot of shit, like, as kids. Like, and then even after, like, the band fell apart and stuff, that shit stopped happening. People stopped putting shows on. Like, we used to play with, I don't know, fucking 10 different punk bands all the time.
It was always punk.
Yeah. We stopped, and everybody fucking stopped.
Yeah.
Didn't Billy almost get in a fight with one of the drummers from one of those bands because they tried to make off with his double kick pedal?
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
That sounds about right.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the crazy things too is, like, honestly, if it wasn't for those shows, I wouldn't have met my wife, because it's funny because she hates metal. She's not a metal fan at all. But we had a show the one night, and Rob was friends with her, and it was just like, Rob's just like, hey, my brother's got a show. Do you want to come? And she was like, oh sure, whatever.
Well, you
And
would have met eventually because her and I were still were friends.
okay,
Good
maybe
friends back
eventually,
then, right?
but I
But
mean,
yeah,
at the time, it wouldn't have
This
played
is
out the
his
way
meet
it did.
cute. Shut up.
yeah, my bad. My bad.
But it's just funny because like she always says like, you know, for her, she saw me and immediately was like, you know, I want that guy. But I had a girlfriend at the time, and it just it wasn't the right time for that. But it's just funny for someone that despises metal to end up being with the guy that the metal show that she just kind of tagged along to.
Yeah, that's pretty cool,
Yeah.
man. I don't know. That is awesome. Like, it was a lot of really fucking good times. Like, just playing live music and setting up shows and shit like that. And it was all like good work, you know? Like, we put that shit in, we made it work. Like, people came. It felt like a real fucking event. Like,
we had a following. Like we legit had like groupies that made sure to be at every show. Like
Ben.
yeah.
yeah. Hey, man, not all groupies are chicks, man.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any? Okay, so I'll explain something that happened to me, and you tell me if you ever had anything weird like that happen. So we played one of the St. Mary's Hall events, and
Yep, that happened to me.
yeah, and then when it was finished, I came off stage, and this chick ran over to me, and she was like, "Oh my god, like your ears are so sexy," and I was like,
Ears?
"My ears were so sexy." And I was just like,
Well, let's see.
Not
Let's
the-
okay. Okay. I
Not the
got
normal
big
body
ass
part you
ears,
can go
man.
for.
My ears are not sexy.
Damn.
But like it was the weirdest compliment I ever got.
Yeah,
And
that's
I don't
strange.
know if did anyone ever say anything weird to you after you came off?
I not that I could. I've had people come up to me and give me very strange compliments, but none of them were from a show, like after a show or anything like that, that I can remember at least.
Yeah, that's the only one because it was weird as fuck. And like, but I have no idea who she was. I just said, oh, thanks. And I walked away because like I've been with my wife since then. So
yeah,
it didn't matter. And like she was working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes, which is really cool until everything fucking fell apart. But like we were about to get played on the Rock and a couple other things that she had lined up, and then the band split. So it just never ended up happening. But
yeah,
those shows were fucking fun, man. It was weird because every band but us played "Damn It" by Blink-182.
right.
But I mean, that's when we were the only metal act. Like, you got to play with the punk guys. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, it was punk. Like the only other local bands were punk or like just rock, like nothing heavy.
No,
like Mitch's band.
Yeah, like we were super weird. Like we were like the metal act of that area or whatever. Yeah. And there were definitely other ones that had come and gone that were older than us, but yeah, and it was shit timing. I wish there was like some sort of bigger band that like just a little bit bigger than us that could have like helped us up rather than us helping every like
right.
You can't go higher than the lowest if but I don't know, man. That was some fun times. Going back to what D-Rock said about, and this kind of ties in with the weird comment that I got. The next time that we played Buffalo Days, we were much different by then. We had learned how to play our instruments a lot better. We had gotten into like Marilyn Manson stuff like that. So like CJ had 2 mohawks and like goth makeup and a red dress, and our bass player wore the Canadian flag as a dress or a skirt, and I think I had red hair and Bill had like teal hair, And before we were backstage just getting ready to go and perform, and these two ladies come over and they hand CJ a Bible, and they're like, "This will help you on your way." And like, he's like, "What the fuck?" And like turns and shows it to us, and we're like, "What the fuck? That's weird. Get the fuck away from us." And like, then we went up and just blew open these fucking farmers' minds. Like, there was nothing else that sounded like us. They were not prepared for what was coming. At one point I scream and you can hear it echo through the entire town. Like, they're panicking, trying to turn the fucking knobs to make us like, because the band right before us was like a ska band, and it was like a super pussy quiet band. And so, yeah, everything was set to it was just crazy. I remember the dude from Strings and Things with the really long hair was like, you could see him off stage, like, just couldn't, like, fuck, man.
Wish I could see what you were doing, because I'd have like no video of you guys. It's just loading. So if you were making an action, I couldn't see it. Totally sucks.
You suck. Oh, and then once immediately after we got off that stage, I was literally, I got off the stage and people rushed me, and I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy!" And they're like,
What's happening?
"Hey, man, can you sell us weed?" And I'm like, "What? I don't even smoke weed yet." Fuck. But right away, the long-haired guy in the metal band, he's got to have the hookup, man.
Of course, right?
Fuckers. I don't know, man.
That's because Buffalo Days was before my time. I didn't.
Yeah, no, that was the early sessions. We had a lot of fun. Played like the school and all that stuff. That was a lot of fun. That
was one of my favorite shows. Still, it was.
Dude, it was so crazy. Like, it was like all of these people all of a sudden knew who we really were.
Well, that's the thing. We were the weird metal kids, right? Like, we had our own little corner down the hallway at the end. Nobody wanted to come down there unless your locker was down there.
True.
Everyone avoided us. But then, the Battle of the Bands come, and we go up on stage, and all of a sudden, I mean, not to toot our own horn, we're the only band that got an encore.
Still lost, though.
Wow, that's politics, man. That's you give it to the popular kids that play the rock music, not the weird kids that play the metal.
Only people to have an encore, only people to play their own fucking music.
Yep.
Lost.
Bullshit. But no, that show, it's funny because like it's a habit that I have that I do now. I listen to a song and I always picture myself performing the song. It's just something I do all the time. But when I do, it's always at the school. That's always the
that's awesome.
That seems to be there for me.
That's cool, man. That's like in the subconscious, that was like a moment.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember like the next couple of days after that, all these like preppy and like people that never gave me the time of day. They're like, hey, what's up? I'm like, fuck off. Like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I played a lot of sports in high school, so I was like, I had affiliation with some of them to begin with, but it was never accepted. Or like, I was still the weird kid, right?
Yeah. Like, yeah, you were like an acquaintance, but not a friend.
Right.
That makes sense.
The guy that shows up to the basketball game wearing Janko jeans and a wallet chain and
yeah, man, it's good times. Bring back the late 90s, early 2000s. That shit was bomb.
It was a great time for music, man.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
It's still, to this day, probably. I mean, I kind of bounce between like the new metal generation of us, and then the like early 2000s metalcore. Those are the two genres that I really like. I still go back to now, and I listen to that more than I do today's music.
Nice. Yeah, it's tough. Like, I don't know. It's because I'm
Yeah,
old.
if I jump back onto a playlist, it's usually back to like all that late '90s, early 2000s metal stuff.
It's good stuff.
Yeah,
For a while, I was
Right.
like heavy back into Rammstein.
Yes. I still love Rammstein.
Yeah,
Dude, speaking of Rammstein, I will still never forget when Derek, you were told
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
to turn your shirt inside out because the you had a Rammstein shirt that had why can I not think of the singer's name?
Till.
Till?
Yeah.
Yeah, on fire on it, and somebody's
Jamie's mom.
mom.
Jamie.
Yeah. No, I know. I wasn't gonna mention names.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
He's like, I'm calling that bitch out.
shocker.
Yeah, she's like, just sees you wearing it. She's like, oh, turn the shirt around. I had a member of my family die in a fire.
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
I know your entire family. No, you haven't.
No, you haven't. What the fuck?
I literally have grown up around you my entire life. You lived 10 feet across the hall from me. No, you haven't.
Yeah, you should have just been like, that sounds fake. Fuck's sakes. That's hilarious, man.
Oh, it was so funny.
Andy was talking about something, a slogan on a shirt or whatever, and I heard her talking with the wife, and she's like, yeah, could you believe that someone would wear that on a shirt? And she was like, your dad used to wear a hello, my name is Satan shirt everywhere he went. So I don't know that you know who your father is. I was all about wearing that crazy shit.
Yeah, man.
Did any of you have like any other shirts than that? Like obviously we know Sean did, but I always had one that said in very small white lettering, "Nosy little fucker, aren't you?"
That's a good
I
one.
remember that shirt. You got shit at school wearing that shirt.
Oh, I got shit. I got in trouble wearing that shirt. I got in trouble wearing the Slipknot shirt that said "People equal shit."
Which is a true statement. Like, come on.
Oh yeah.
Do some TikTok dances.
Careful, Ralph, there's a small child by.
Yeah. Are you aware? Are you being held against your will? Blink twice.
I am.
There you go. I knew it. All right, ask her what her favorite Rammstein song is.
She won't even know.
Ask her to name any metal
say it.
song.
What do you want me to say? Hi, bestie boo boos.
Hi, bestie boo boos.
Bestie boo bears. That's what that.
What up, bestie boo bears?
All right, well, hello, guy.
Good night, kiddo.
Aw.
Aw. Must be nice to have a kid that'll go to bed by themselves. Jeez, not
Oh, I didn't say that.
read and
I didn't
snack
say that
and-
at all.
Okay, wait, hold on. What were you roundhousing? The kid, or is that your new way of describing taking a shit?
No, I was thinking of like just drop kicking the little one.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Although I am from now on gonna say that roundhouse is brewing when I need to take a growler.
Wouldn't that be the
Brewing, you assume that there were some things happening in the digestive tract, not that you're just getting ready to roundhouse a child.
Just a fury, just bubble guts.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Now, do you ever, like, a situation is happening? Sometimes I do this where it's almost like a movie where I think I want to do something crazy, like roundhouse kick a child. Now, does that ever play in your head? Like,
oh yeah.
okay,
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Okay, good. Because
Oh, absolutely.
there's
And
nothing
then you
funnier than a
realize-
child going flying.
And then you're kind of like, I probably shouldn't do that though. And then you just pat the kid on the head and walk away.
Yeah, exactly. Or fucking like you're like talking to somebody who's just talking down to you, and you're just like, God, I hate you. You just want to like pull their head right down onto the counter. And you're like, I can't do that. That's unacceptable.
Oh yes. I work in an industry where we have certain people that definitely think they're better than everybody else. And so yes, I very much have that thought constantly of I hate every fiber of your being, but I'm gonna smile at you and pretend that we're friends.
Just like retail.
I was just gonna say,
What?
man. I thought I worked, so I sold I sold weed for a bit. I was in the retail business. It wasn't like a side hustle. But and I thought, you know what? If anybody's gonna be chilling retail, it's gonna be selling weed. And I was wrong. People are still assholes to the drug dealer. It's ridiculous. Fuck. Just some of the stuff. You can't believe the dumb shit people will say to you, and then just they look at you because they're serious, and you can't believe it. Like I can't remember what somebody said something so stupid to me that I literally just looked at my employee and I said, "You need to deal with this." Out loud. I was just, "You need to deal with this," and I just walked away. I couldn't believe it. Sometimes you just cannot believe the shit that people say, and they get to vote and do all kinds of fun stuff, drive vehicles, like Jesus.
Oh, it's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah, man.
I think that's an understatement.
Probably.
I'm being nice. I'm being nice for once.
You gotta.
You don't be.
That's fair.
Oh, but yeah, man. Excuse me.
Think we should go shoosting?
Yeah, let's do some shooting.
I think so. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, boys.
Yeah.
No problem.
At least two of you paid
Anytime.
attention.
I was listening. God damn it.
I'm pretty sure the other one's literally playing COD right now.
Yeah, I think he's already on.
He's warming up.
No, I'm
He's
not.
warming up.
What are you doing
I'm playing Ghost of
Ghost.
Tsushima.
Jesus.
This fucking guy. Well, all right, man.
Well-
Thanks for coming on. We're going to go shoot some people in the face. Until next time,
Yeah.
run along, kiddies.